crop production and management. First of all, we should know about crop. What do you mean by crop? So, crop, plants of the same kind that are grown and cultivated on a large scale, at one place on a large scale, is called a crop. When plants of the same kinds, when same kind of plants are cultivated at one place, same place, on a large scale, is called crop. For example, crop of wheat means that all the plants grown in a field that of wheats, or crop of barley, crop of maize, crop of rice, means that all the plants grown in a field are that of same quality, same kind. Now next topic is types of crop. So crops which are grown in winter season are called rabi crops, and crops which are grown in rainy seasons are called kharif crops. Okay, so let's discuss about kharif and rabi crops. The crops which are grown in rainy season are called kharif. The rainy season in India is generally from June to September. Paddy, maize, soybean, groundnut and cotton are kharif crops which are grown in rainy season. Rabi crops are grown in winter season like October to March are called rabi crops. Example of rabi crops are wheat, gram, pea, mustard, etc. Now, preparation of soil is the first step in cultivating crop for food. It is the first step before growing a crop. Preparation of soil. So soil is prepared for sowing the seed of the crop. Soil is prepared. Why it is prepared? For sowing the seeds of the crop. When soil will be of good quality, the plant production will be high. Of good quality production will be there. So soil is prepared for sowing the seeds of the crop. This is carried out using various processes and tools. We know that soil contains mineral, water, air and some living organism. Living organism increase the fertility of the soil, or it also make the soil aerated. Okay, in addition, dead plant and animals get decomposed by soil organisms. In this way, various nutrients in the dead organism are released back into the soil. These nutrients are again absorbed by plant. Okay. Since only a few centimeters of top layer, we know that top layer of the soil is good for plant growth. Okay. So turning and loosening of soil brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top. Okay, so by turning and loosening of soil, it brings the nutrient-rich soil to the top so that plant can use these nutrients. Thus, turning and loosening of soil is very important for cultivation of crop. And this process, turning or loosening of soil, this process is done by two processes which is called tilling and plugging. And this is done by using a plug. Why turning and loosening is must before sowing the seed? If the soil, this is done by using a plug. Plugs are made up of wood or iron. If the soil is very dry, it may need watering before plugging. If soil is dry, before plugging, we should watering the soil. The plugged field may have big clumps of soil called crumbs. It is necessary to break these crumbs. So after plugging, leveling is done to break these crumbs. Leveling the field is beneficial for sowing as well as for irrigation purpose. So leveling of soil is done with the help of leveler, and plugging is done with the help of plug. Okay. So sometime manure is added to the soil before tilling. This helps to proper mixing of manure with soil. Now let's discuss about agriculture implements which is used during cultivation of crops. So before sowing the seed, it is necessary to break soil clumps to get better yield. Okay. First implement is plug. Plug is a device that is used by a farmer for different purposes, for adding fertilizer, tilling, loosening of the soil, etc. Okay. Next is hoe. This is the picture of plug, and here you can see the picture of hoe. It is a simple tool which is used for removing weeds. Weeds means unwanted plants, and for loosening the soil. It has long rod of wood, iron. Okay. Why we need to remove weeds before sowing the seeds? Because weeds are unnecessary plant, and weeds can compete with wanted crops. It will take nutrients. Okay, that's why removing of weed is very essential before sowing the seed. Next is cultivator. Nowadays plugging is done by tractor driven cultivator. Okay, now sowing. How to sowing the seeds. Sowing is an important part of crop production. Before sowing, good quality, clean and healthy seed of good variety are selected. So how to select the good variety of seeds? So before sowing the seed, farmers select the quality of seeds. Okay. So sowing, the process of planting the seed in the soil. Quality of the seed. Quality of the seed is an important factor that determines the crop yield. Selection of good seed is done by putting the seeds in water. How we can select the good quality seed? Selection of good seeds is done by putting the seeds in water. The dead and damaged seed become hollow and float on the top of the water, whereas the good seeds will will settle down at the bottom. In this way, farmer select the healthy seeds and remove the unhealthy seeds. Let's discuss about traditional tools which is used for cultivation. Before the invention of modern agriculture machinery, traditional tools were used by farmers. These include plugs, shovels, pickles, etc. Traditional tool used to sow the seed was like a funnel. Okay, now that modern implements are like seed drill. Seed drills are used. Here you can see the image of seed drills. So in this rod here, seed is put inside this rod, and from here it will lose the soil and insert the seed inside with equal distance. Okay, so seed drills are used for sowing with the help of tractors. It will be attached with the tractors. Okay, so it ensures that seed are sown uniformly in the same distance, in same amount, at a particular depth. Okay, and are covered by soil after sowing. Seed drill are used for sowing with the help of tractors. It ensures that seeds are sown uniformly at a particular depth and covered by soil after sowing. Okay. Then after sowing the seed, manures and fertilizer are the substance that are added to soil to increase their fertility. While manures are made by decomposition of organic substance, while fertilizer is made up of inorganic chemicals. Manures are organic substance which are added to increase the soil, to increase the fertility of the soil. While manures are also increase the fertility of the soil, but it is fertilizer is made of inorganic materials. It is made in factories. It is man-made substance. It is fertilizer is made of inorganic material, whereas manures are of organic material. It is made up of decomposition of dead and decaying substance, whereas fertilizer are made of chemical substance. Okay, so what are the difference between fertilizer and manure? Now, fertilizer is a man-made inorganic soil, as I told you that it is made in factories, whereas manure is a natural substance obtained by the decomposition of cattle dung and plant residue. Fertilizer is prepared in factories. It can be prepared in the fields just by decomposition of cattle dungs, by just collecting the kitchen waste, cow dung, cattle dung, plant residues, and cover it in the soil and left it for 1 week or 2 weeks. It will be converted into manure. So it can be prepared in the field, and it is natural substance, organic substance, whereas fertilizer is prepared in factories and it is inorganic substance. It is made chemically. Fertilizer does not provide any humus to the soil. Manure provides a lot of humus to the soil. Humus is necessary for the increase the fertility of the soil. Fertilizer are very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. But manure is relatively less rich in plant nutrients because it is natural substance. It is chemical substance. That's why it is very rich in plant nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So, what are the advantages of disadvantages of using fertilizer? So, disadvantages of using fertilizer. Because fertilizer is prepared in factories, it is man-made inorganic substance, chemical substance. So, excessive use of fertilizer can cause pollution. It can also change pH of the soil in certain rare cases. Now, what are the advantages of manure? The organic manure is considered better than fertilizers. The organic manure is better than fertilizer because it enhances the water holding capacity of the soil. Okay, it makes the soil porous, due to which exchange of gases will become easy. It increases the number of friendly microorganisms, while fertilizer decrease the microorganism. While, as we know, microorganisms help in the increase the fertility of the soil. So it improves the texture of the soil. In this way, you can say manures are better than fertilizer. Now, how can we increase the fertility of the soil for next season? Okay, so there are some methods. By following them, we can increase the fertility of the soil. First is leaving the land fallow. When land is left fallow for a certain period of time, the land replenishes its nutrient by itself. When for one season, if it is leave for a certain period of time, then it replenishes its nutrient, and this land can be used for agriculture again. Next is crop rotation. Crop rotation ensure that same crop will not grow continuously. Means if we will grow same crop continuously, then it will take the same type of nutrient from the soil. Then there will be decreases of nutrient in the soil. So we can rotate the crop. Okay, means in one season we can use different kind of crop. In another season we should plant a leguminous crop by which increase the nitrogen content in the soil. Okay, so this is called crop rotation. It ensures that the same crop will not grow continuously and lead to erosion of soil fertility. By growing crop that require different set of nutrient, we can ensure the soil fertility is restored. So this can be done by growing different crop alternatively. Okay, crop rotation can be done by growing different crop. Earlier, farmer in northern India used to grow legumes as fodder in one season and wheat in the next season. This helped in the replenishment of the soil with nitrogen, because leguminous plants increase the nitrogen fixation, fix the atmospheric nitrogen. So it increases the amount of nitrogen. In this way, it replenishes the protein. Farmers are being encouraged to adopt this practice. You know that rhizobium bacteria, these are present in the nodule of root of leguminous plant. They fix atmospheric nitrogen. Okay. Next step in the process of production of crop, that is irrigation. The supply of water to crops at regular interval of time is called irrigation. The time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, soil to soil, and season to season. Like in summer, frequency of watering is higher, whereas in winter it is less than summer, and in rainy season it is very less. Okay, could it be due to the increased rate of evaporation of water from the soil? Now, what are the source of irrigation? So these are wells, tube wells, pond, lake, river, dams, canals. There are different types of traditional methods of irrigations like moat, pulley system, chain pump, dhikli, rahat, lever system. These are the different different traditional methods of irrigation. Now, modern method is sprinkler system, drip system. Okay. Now, what is a sprinkler system? A sprinkler means sprinkle the water. In this system, waste of water is very less. This system is more useful on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. The perpendicular pipes having rotating nozzles. Here you can see having perpendicular pipe having rotating nozzles on the top are joined to the main pipeline. Okay, at regular main pipeline at regular intervals. When water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. It gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is just like raining. Sprinkle is very useful for lawns, coffee plantation, and several other crops. Next is drip system, drip by drip. In this system, the water falls drop by drop directly near the roots of the plant. So it is called drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruit, plants, garden and trees. Water is not wasted at all because it is fall drop by drop directly near the root. It is a bone and reason where availability of water is very. Next is protection from weed. As I told you, wheat is unwanted plant. The removal of weed is called weeding. Weeding is necessary since wheat compete with the crop plants for water, nutrient, space and light. So it is necessary to remove the weeds. Thus they affect the growth of crop. Some weed interfere even in harvesting and may be poisonous for animals. So it is very necessary to remove the weed. That is this which is called weedicides. It is very necessary to remove the weed from crop before sowing the seeds. Farmers adopt many ways to remove weeds and control their growth. So weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides like 2,4-D. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds. They do not damage the crop. They only damage the weeds, unwanted plant. Weedicides are diluted with water to the extent required and spray in the field with a sprayer and it kills the weeds. Now next step is harvesting. Know that harvesting is done by two methods. First is the manual method where a sickle is used for harvest the crop, or second is the mechanical method where a huge machine called harvester or combine is used. Okay, harvesting of a crop is an important task. The cutting of crop after it mature is called harvesting. Okay, next process is threshing. So after harvesting the crop, grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. Okay, because seeds will be separated from the chaff. This process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of machine called combine, which is in fact a harvester as well thresher. Next is winnowing. After threshing, farmer with a small holding of land do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. Now, separation of grain from their chaff by winnowing. This process is called winnowing. Here, threshing process, you can see threshing is the process of loosening of grains from their stalks. While it can be done manually, these days machine is used that separate all the grains. Next is winnowing. Winnowing is the process of separation of grains seed from the chaff using the help of wind. Due to the wind, lighter chaff gets separated, blow away, flies away, and the heavier grains will settle, fall down, and farmers collect them. After getting the grains, seed, we need to store them. So storage of the grain is an important step in agriculture. After harvesting steps, ready grains are stored in granaries and silos. Grains have to be stored in dry places that does not have rodent or fungal, means does not have rats and other rodents or fungal infestation. Fumigation of storage places is carried out to make it free from microbes. Okay. Now what is granaries? Granaries are the place where the freshly obtained fruit grain are stored. That's all. This was the last step in the production of crop.